All right, cool. Hey guys, welcome. Another Sunday live here. Feeling a little bit better this week. Let me see. Still recovering though. Let me get the first order of business going here, which is the subscribers. I think this will be the second or third week, and it slowed down, which is nice. It's nice. All right, let me see. October 1st. 90 days, 28 days. I think that'll be better. So I'm hoping, make sure. Boy, we got some winning names again here. All right, so we've got Simwon Ninchuri, Albert Wabel, Osman Ukar, Kenton. I'm going to have to skip some here. Blessed Mail, Tim Jahal, Antonio something, Steve Rader, Edwin Cullen. Let's see, got to go 50 here. Marco Vargas, something like that. John Cummins, Kurt Custom Saws, Frank, Saeed Ali, Jacob Bogard, Alan Pomeranka, something like that. Chase, Australia. Jonathan VL, Mohammed, Hansi, Ralph, Fernando, Milan, Nico, Raymond, Daniel, Vahab, Pyro, Johnny Cake Boys, Abdullah something, Abraham, Marley, Damien, Carlos, Bus, her to Mary, I don't know. This is getting rough. Yasin Omari, Stephen Alred, Matt Burns, Willie Carson, Manuel Lola, C.W. Jolly, I hope. William Sheldon, M. Klein, Jordan Skinner, Gutter Butcher, Ronnie Quilts, and Yeves Lebel, something like that. Sorry for butchering. This was a rough one. 90% of these were kind of out there. RC Fun, what's going on, Bubba? Yeah, so we are back. I still got a cough, still got some respiratory things going on. But the weather's been changing every single day this week. I've been out in the shed, at least till 8-9 o'clock. It's been so stinking cold. Body's starting to get used to it now. But I've had the stove going. Today we've got 80 degrees, so whatever. It's one of them fall type deals. But we do have. I'm hoping I'm hoping. Show you guys the if it's not too. Of course, it doesn't really matter for you guys, but it'll be. I think it'll be an experience. As you can see, there's three highlighted property markers here. Boom, boom, boom. One's landlocked, and I just went over to see the gentleman that owns the property to see if I could get some permission to go across his land to see what we've got for a stand of trees. And turns out he's got a pile of tree work that he wants me to do at his house. I got a gray hair right there somewhere. That's going to drive me nuts. Oh, you've been sick too, Bubba? Yeah, it's going around. That fall weather. It hit you hard. That and the kids went back to school, so they brought something home, you know. Nonetheless, we're doing a lot better. Still got the rasp and the cough and that type of thing. Figures the first week of deer season, bow at that. Here I am hacking, right? So I haven't been out yet. I've got the bow in the other room, but I'm gonna start going out hopefully this week. But the properties, it's looking like I might be doing some full-time logging this winter for myself. Still kind of petering on if I'm gonna use my tractor. That's what I have right now, but with the amount of property that I have, the potential to log, I'm more or less looking towards a dozer, but we'll see. We'll see. Kind of exciting though, especially when I was looking to get in with a plowing outfit or something like that. Hey, ground pounder, what's up, Bubba? Yeah, I see. I just see a short. Was it your truck that was on the back there? That Ford? You have the GMC or Chevy, right? The red, beautiful truck. But that freaking what is that 6.0 on the trailer? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Them 6.0s. I'm looking at a couple of them trucks right now with the 7.3s. I know better to look at the 6.0s, but I'm still in the 70s. I still want a 70s. I've got one in the back, the camper special, but that one's it's giving me a problem with that 351 modified. I can't get it to stop overfueling. I've taken it down the road a couple times, and it won't clean out. So I'm thinking it's carburetor, but nonetheless, RC Fun. Remember that exhaust we built in the live stream? Like I said, I had some time in the shop this week, so I took that exhaust and I did some polishing to it. I'm pretty sure you remember what it looked like before. And I ran it for 2 jobs, and I liked it, but I think it had too much back pressure. I wasn't getting the the throttle response like I do with this one. This one's just I've got that Cerakote paint, but I think I'm gonna take all this off with the bead blaster and dress this up. There's a couple, like I said, with flux welding. You can kind of see there's some minor imperfections there from the flux getting in. and then welding over the top. And then when you go to grind it down, you get them little pits. So I'm going to fill all that in. And I think I might start selling them. I don't know. I obviously can't market them except for like a buy at your own risk type of deal because of forest fires. I'm not putting screens or anything on them. But for the amount of work with these, I sell these for $70. And I've got them, I all depending on the build of the 372. For height wise, this is obviously, like I said, flux core weld, so I'll have to grind all that off. But depending on the build, I have some people that buy 3-4 of them with different sizes. So I sell them for 70. These I've been getting 60 to 65 bucks for the dual port. And I don't want a sticker shock, but there's about double the work to make this. And I'm half tempted to go up above $100 for it. I don't know if there's going to be any interest in them at all, but I know that the one that Buckin has on his 500, I want to buy. On the 500, yes. No, I didn't like the bark box. I think the problem with the bark box for me was, like everybody says, it gets you in the face with a full wrap. And I got gain from it, but not the response that I wanted. It was 4-stroking real bad, like Buckin's. If you've watched Buckin's 500i, and I think Buckin, if he was to let that saw idle, the way moderator Dan told me to let it idle after you've done something like this or a bark box, I really wish I didn't get rid of it, to be honest with you. I mean, I still got the stock muffler right here for it, but I sold the bark box cover for, I think, $2 less than what I paid for it. I used it for a good week too, and it was nice for the tree jobs. Don't get me wrong. This deal right here will make you I don't know. For me, it's not embarrassing, but I wear ear protection with it. With a bark box, I never felt like I needed it. I've got, actually, this year after my fungal deal from skidding last year, I had a ear fungus, like mushrooms, actually, that grew in my ear from being inside the damp cab, and then wearing, which I don't have them on me right now, earbuds. You put the earbuds in, your ears sweat, you know what I mean? Well, I ended up getting a fungus that went in past my eardrum, and I had to go down to Albany, get them to vacuum it all out, this type of thing, with ear drops. And I just went and had a hearing test done, and they're saying that my left ear is 50% of what it was last year due to this whole deal that happened with me. What the frig was I going on about? So I'm sorry about scatterbrain, like I said. You don't follow Buckin? Well, if you did, he's the one that actually had somebody build him one of these pipes. It's a lot bigger diameter. It's almost like I've got a DRZ 400 exhaust. You can see this is inch. This is, where's my trusty tape measure? That's never where I need it. I've got Yeah, not everybody follows Bucking. I understand that. Bucking is Bucking. I love him. He's got me where I've got myself where I am, but he's given me the um he's given me the encouragement. So this is an inch and a half. Okay. Okay. So this is an inch. This is an inch and a half. I believe Buckins is around an inch and a quarter or inch and a half. Um, so he's getting a whole lot of more air out of his than I am. But when I bolted this on, and like I said, I've never let the saw idle longer than 2 minutes, 3 minutes before. That's what I heard you did. 2 minutes, let it idle, let it acclimate, blah, blah, blah. When I put this on, and Dan and I were talking, he said that when he got his bark box, he let his idle for 15 minutes. No touching the trigger, no touching nothing. Start it up, let it idle. 15 minutes. As soon as I did that with that saw, this pipe, I haven't had that kind of throttle response out of a saw yet, and that's what I use. I've been running the Huskies more now after I got the square ground chain. I have a chain that I've been experimenting with the square grinding, but with the amount of firewood I've been doing, it doesn't work out. So I've got the EXL chain on the 371, and I'm going to be using that a little bit more now. I'm sorry, I'm losing a lot of things here on the. But with the bark box, I never gave it 15 minutes to acclimate. Now, whether it needs 8 minutes, whether it needs 5 minutes, I never gave it the proper time. So I did notice some decibel change on it. A lot of people say you definitely need your. I never noticed that with it just because my hearing's not great to begin with. But when you put a header on the saw, it hurts internally. It doesn't hurt your earring. It rattles inside your head. You know what I mean? So it's not a it's not a residential area saw anymore. I have used it residentially. People haven't said too much, but I didn't. It doesn't feel great knowing that. There we go. Didn't like the bar box. 500i. Yep. It does for sure. I didn't follow Buck in. For sure. We doing a different thing. I've had a ruptured eardrum. Yeah, I've ruptured my eardrum many times. I can't actually use Q-tips in my ear anymore because I always rupture it. I've had to have tubes in my ears from it. About the pipe for a Hyundai. That's where I'm. Like I said, the one that Buckin's running, and the guy is using stainless, titanium, and something else. He has it in 3 different forms. For the stainless, I think it's $300. For the stainless with tiger stripe, it's more, and then for the titanium, whatever the case may be. So I'm thinking if I am to just do a Cerakote job on it, kind of like this guy, $100. If I do the full polish, but regardless, it's still mild steel, so it's not going to stay. I don't know what to do with that, so I'm up in the air about it yet. I might put one on eBay for 125 and see what happens. But I enjoy building them. Like I said, I cut this one off of, or this piece off of the pipe that I've got on there. I think I should be able to show a little bit better picture. A little bit better of what it actually. This was, I think, before I got it completely polished up, or maybe that was. But either way, it looks beautiful. Looks beautiful, functions beautiful, and it's half an inch shorter than this one is. I lost a little bit in the corner, which I don't think is that big of a deal. I would definitely let me know what you find, ground pounder. Uh, let that fricker run, idle, whatever. Let it idle 15 minutes. Like I said, Dan turned me on to that, and the saw completely changed. And the other thing is I noticed like my saw doesn't sit for more than a day or two. This week it sat 3 days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday I went out and did some cutting because I was sick. Um, and I had to reacclimate the saw. I noticed that it started to get some four-strokey deal, so I stopped the saw. I started it back up and I let it acclimate again. I have noticed that it doesn't seem to keep them settings. Mine doesn't seem like it. I'm about to start mine. Let it run while we're doing this. LOL. Be right back. Yeah. I'm working on my 500 right now. I'm thinking about starting it without the exhaust. Yeah, it won't hurt nothing. As long as you don't have too much garbage on the outside of your saw. Like mine needs a good bath now. You actually can pull in a little bit there too. But they sound, I don't know. They have a little thump, they're not loud. Well, they're loud. They are loud, but the bends, just like a truck exhaust. If you ever do like a straight from the header, I did that on my Tundra when I first got it, and it sounded horrible. It's the bends, the harmonics bouncing off the side that give you tone and all that. So, excuse me. Mr. Dan, there he is. Yeah, that's why I haven't bought one yet. To be completely honest with you, I'm still it. Bucking sells it though. Bucking sells it, and it's hard. A lot of people. Let me see if I've got it on here. I think it's Super Saw. Freaking windy. Super Saw or something like that. Super Saw. Super. Super Chainsaw. Let me see. Super Mix. Super. Frick. I forgot what the hell the name is. Let Let me look and see if I can't get it off Buckin's page here. Turn my sound down. I know he just did it on actually last week when I got done. He was live streaming, so I went in there and I watched him, and he read the name of it off, and I didn't understand it. Didn't understand it. Then somebody posted a link, and I finally figured it out. Let's see, description. Okay, so that's not it. Just give me 1 second here. I wanna make sure that I've got this correct. Ripsaw, Buck and Billy Ray. Ripsaw. I'll get it. Because I think he said he had like 25 pipes made. And he only had one left. So people are gobbling them up, of course, you know. Buckin's they always got the salesman whatever you want to call it from him. He's always, you could tell he's been in sales. And he says that before he started cutting trees, he was a salesman. And he's got that persona about him. Which is whatever, you know. My grandfather had that too. He was a salesman his whole life, selling boats and everything else. Man, I can't find it, but I know it's super cool saws, super something, super something. Frig. Maybe it's super cool saw. I'll try that real quick and then we'll get right off of this. I don't mean to pull up everybody's. I just wanted to show you guys the prices because it is sticker shock for me. However, TIG welding, the amount of people that can actually do that, it's an art. It is an art. I mean, I've run stainless. I've got stainless here, and I've run it with my flux core, and it worked. Super saw, super brand. Yeah, I'm not sure. Buckin, Billy, Ray, 500 I chainsaw exhaust. Buckin, Billy, Ray, bunker answers videos. 500 I. Buckin, Billy, Ray. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. All right, that's it. I'm not spending no more time on it. Sorry it was that long. How many people we lost? That's a lot for a pipe. It's not. It's that is on the site. Now I'm not like I said. It is an art. He does a beautiful job, absolutely beautiful job on them pipes. That's kind of why I polished mine, because it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it is sticker shock. Now that pipe for the 500i is the cheapest one I believe on his website. The the pretzel. He's got the pretzel muffler on there for his 372, which Buckin runs the pretzel on, if I'm not mistaken, the I don't know if it's a stock 372 and it screams. And then he runs the ram horn on uh the big bore ported 372 that um what the heck's his name? Iron Horse built for him. I believe they're both Iron Horse saws, but he runs the two plate. The pretzel exhaust, I believe it's called the pretzel or the serpent, one or the other. I believe is in the $700 to $800 range for that 372. Now that's where you start getting, yeah, you know. Um, and I believe he's got some on there for $800-900. And I know the pretzel. I believe the pretzel is one of them. Um, yes, they do. You get that the piston flop. Uh, if you ever heard a four-cylinder car with no header on it, it sounds like a bubble, a bubble car or something like that. The full, you know. Um, Buckin's about that cheese, man. Yeah, yeah. Well, everybody is. Everybody is. It would be so nice to be able to focus on YouTube full time, have myself, my pipes that I can build, and everything else. It wouldn't be so stressful right now like it is with the just trying to get coal for the house. Um, and I just did my finances for this year, my last 6 months, and what my spent on the business or spent on ropes, chainsaws, chains, bars, blah 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 blah, is nearly freaking three times what I made this year. So it's a hard deal. Well, that's the thing too, and this is why I give Buckin the props that I do. The man is raising people up. Like if Buckin and I were doing this, and I was building mufflers for him or whatever the case may be, porting saws for him, whatever. From what I understand, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not his financial advisor or whatever, but I don't think Buckin's getting much. If we haven't heard from whoever this gentleman is, but nonetheless, he's the one that's making the money. Buckin's the bikini model out there showing off the exhaust, and in Buckin's respect, he had his buddy there that worked on Myrtle make him the UFO exhaust, and nothing really ever came of them. They did a great job for him as far as performance, but they still weren't what he was looking for, and he kind of Okay, brought the next fella in. What do you have? And he demonstrated what they were capable of and the gains that they got, and the fact that they were able to produce a product for him and then be able to produce a product for us. So I can't say that he's jumping on any bandwagon. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of bashing freaking um, Iron Horse and a lot of the guys that Buckin has had a lot of saw demonstrations on. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because he's not really steered me wrong in any way, shape, or form. The only thing that I'm kind of questioning on is the DeWalt bar oil. But with how dirty my saws are getting with this Husqvarna oil, I wouldn't mind looking into a different oil. I ran cheap stuff. Usually, I run cheap stuff in the wintertime because it's very thin compared to the Husqvarna. But my saws take fuel. I have to actually take fuel to get them cleaned up. And he was actually, after running that DeWalt oil, taking his finger, going around his saw, and he could get right back to the original paint with his finger versus having to use something like gasoline or brake cleaner, parts cleaner, that type of deal. So there might be something to that. I'm not sure. It looks pretty thin to me, but time will tell. Yeah, we could do that, bub. Absolutely. This past week would have been a perfect week. But I did see that we've been about 6 weeks, maybe we've had a rain day. We've been about 6 whole weeks without a rain, and looking like, and I won't dox myself here, but oh, of course, right? We're getting some rain starting Friday. Of course, I can't show up. Either way, Friday through Thursday, it looks like a week's worth of rain, and the temperature goes from 80 to 50. Starts on that decline. So there'll be some rain days for sure. Ooh. But I would love to. I'd love to get some reviews. I just wish I had. You know, I wish I had a better way to get stuff to people. Like the eBay thing with Dan worked out, but it took so freaking long. Because I would be interested in feedback. I mean, I could show my pipes. I could show what they're doing. I mean, I get so many uh, comments on my my 500i not being stocked that I'm holding. I'm doing the sleeper saw build. When you guys have seen exactly what I've done to that saw, I mean, the 371s I played with a little bit. I've definitely played with them internally, but the 500i, the deepest I've ever went into the thing is looking at the cylinder after running my pipes for a little while. Just because when you don't have back pressure, you can get some scoring on the inside. I have yet to see it. Um, yeah, everything's been running great, and I've got a lot of time on this saw. It needs a cleaning. Really needs a cleaning. Um, Cannon bar. I think I flipped it. I flipped it what, three after I got it, and I flipped twice now. It's upside down. I don't know. I know I've went through 4 chains now, only because I don't carry the 91 driver link. I usually have the 93s, so I am looking at a chain breaker now too, and maybe getting a roll of it, especially if we get this, which it looks like we can do it if we want to. But we've got 25 acres behind Carolyn's. We've got 40 acres across the road from Carolyn's, and then we've got 15 acres in between, and then the trees behind this house that the gentleman wants to get down, which I can actually show you. This is pretty crazy. So I went over to that gentleman's house yesterday. To ask him permission to walk across his property to check out the trees, what she's got for a stand in the back, because I don't have a clear way of getting there. And he gave me permission, blah blah blah. But he said that he has trees on the backside of his house, and they're tall for us around here. Um, and there's probably 15. I think he's got 2 cedars. There's a couple popples, some hemlock, and then some white pine. But this is one of the popples that is directly behind his house. Do you guys see that thing? Directly behind his house. And that split goes up, I'm going to say probably 12, 14 feet. And I stuck my whole arm through that tree. And the guy's in his 80s. And I said, hey, come here, and he couldn't walk up the hill to see what the heck I was looking at. But I took a picture for him, and he was not too enthused to see that. Excuse me. So I have worked that tree out in my head many times. I've cut a lot of trees like it. Nothing that popple tree, and we don't have strong popple here at all. That popple tree is, I'm gonna say, around 90 foot tall and about 30 feet from his house. And it's over the top of the house realistically, because that's where the sun is. That's where it can get the sun along with the rest of the trees. So not too excited about that one. I haven't quite wrapped my head around how I'm going to do it, because the house is here, the crack is here. So usually when you got a tree like that, what I'll do is, even if it's not in the lay, but I'll cut the crack like this. You know what I mean? So you've still got the holding wood on this side, holding wood on this side to make your face cut. And the crack really has nothing to do with nothing, unless the tree wants to just have a rotten spot. You know what I mean? The problem is that the trees like this, his house is here. And if I go in for that back cut, that tree just, it's got freaking 10, 14 inches of gap. So the barbature factor is pretty high. So not quite sure what I'm going to do with that quite yet. I think I might go against its lay completely and try to drop it out in the woods the way I just described, instead of cutting against the gap. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain that. Not good. Nonetheless, not good. Unfortunately, I was out of town this past week, chilling my uncle's place after work. Lots of walking took place. No, yeah, I've been walking a lot of ground myself. Like I said, hunting season, and I've still got all my stuff down at where I'm hunting, where I've got my hunting ground. my splitter, my bucket for the tractor. I forgot all about that. Shoot, we started getting snow. So yeah, I actually pretty sure I'm gonna start hunting up the road at a place that I'm considering logging for this lady because it is hunting season. Everybody hunts around it, so I'm not going to get in there and start making messes in hunting season with people, especially people that I'm trying to use the property for, right? But nonetheless, I don't know unless we can keep something going how much I want to drag you guys on because not too much has really happened. We did a little bit of bucket work. Just send it over. Yeah, I know. It's one of them ones that, I don't, it's calloused. It's calloused around itself too. It's incredible. Popple doesn't hang here. It doesn't hang. The fibers, if you guys watch that folder clean out video where my grandfather was pushing the popple trees off the road, everything, of course, wants to lay the road. But the fiber in popple cuts like garbage here. And I don't know if it's just young popple, but you could watch that video and you could see how much I'm fighting that saw when I get it in there. And the only thing that I could think of is when I watched Gordy's video of him cutting redwoods with that gentleman that's got his own little logging deal, redwood logger. And he says that you can't, well, you can. He says that a chain from a brand new chain to a half war chain is all you can really use with redwood because the fiber actually pinches the bar. That's the only thing that I can actually think is happening with with some of the popple around here. You actually take a piece of popple that you cut and there's hairs, there's fibers that stick up. And I'm almost, it was kind of like my bar was here and my chain was at an angle. You know how you get your bar in there and it really doesn't want to do anything. So you back it out a little bit and you get it true again. And I couldn't true it up with some of them. I mean, they were only freaking, there was a couple of them that were maybe 14, 16 inch, but the 10 inchers, for whatever reason, that fiber just did not want to let my bar go. We dropped some nice wood out there. Production is a different experience from what cutting or from just cutting fire. Yes, it is, Buck. Yes, it was. Hard hat was allowed. So the hard hat's working out good for you, Buck. I am so sorry that it took so long, man. Man, oh man. I am glad that we got it figured out and eBay was able to do that. I actually found out because I've got the paperwork in my truck. I filled it out with my address, your address, what the product is, blah 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 blah. I went to the post office the day that we were talking back and forth on why it was getting shipped to Illinois or whatever the case may be. And that gentleman couldn't tell me what the heck was going on. So he gave me a piece of paper to fill out to do international shipping, even though you're like freaking spitting distance away from me. I brought it to the nearest post office because he couldn't do international shipping for whatever his computer was down. So I went to the next one. They said it was going to be I think it was $68. $68 for me to ship that. So I said, well, I'm not going to do that. You've already paid for the shipping of the stupid thing. And I can't, I tried to cancel your shipping request a couple times to at least get the money back into your account. That way we could figure out what we were going to do. So I just took a freaking, whatever you want to call it, Hail Mary, and I shipped it out because I've got more hats here if it did get lost or whatever. And apparently it ended up working. It just took 3 weeks to get to you. So it was nice. I mean, I don't remember what the shipping was for eBay, but I know that eBay shipping was half to at least a third cheaper than me doing it personally. And from the way that USPS, now I haven't talked to FedEx or UPS yet, but I'm not sure how their international shipping goes. But I will look into that because you were one of the ones that I would like to get your thoughts on them pipes. Same thing goes with freaking ground pounder, but you're working a lot of residential stuff, ground pounder, and like I said, it's not really friendly at all. My grandfather's got a cochlear, whatever implant, and I was working, I don't know, about a quarter. Well, I don't know, 500-600 yards. No, more than that. I was working a ways away, and he said he could hear me. He could hear me start that saw. It when it was idling, he knew when it was idling, and when it was screaming, he knew. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's not a. I don't know without a decibel meter, and then you'd have to hear something of that. It sounds good. It sounds good. Sky Hunter, what's going on? Yep. Yeah, I forgot what that is. I don't have the paperwork now just because it had your info on it. You see, I'm trying to remember what the heck it was for shipping. Oh, so it was $13 for you to ship it. No, order total was $13.45. So you got that hard hat at $1 on eBay for $13.45, and the shipping for me to ship it would be 60. So it sucks that it's that slow, but I mean you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So international shipping on eBay works. That's good to know. That's real good to know because I know I've shipped things to UK, but I never followed it like I was following the shipping I did for Dan. Yeah, that that's a killer, man. And that's one of the main reasons why I decided to go on my own because it's a lot easier for me to. I'm a production guy, and like when I was logging for the 2 years for Duham, uh, I felt so guilty if I didn't have it on head cam or right in the cab. That's why my content really didn't vary very much. Like Logger Wade has got the gravy train, but he's a very production oriented fella himself. But when it's family's business versus you working for somebody else. Now John didn't have any problem with me filming. He kind of chuckled about it. He's seen it a couple times sitting in the trailer, sitting on a piece of equipment we were working on, and he never phased him. But I always wanted to make sure that he understood that I wasn't using up company time for that, and that's where me working for myself, I still fear that I'm wasting time with a stupid camera, and that's maybe why I'll never be very good with the YouTube. But you know, it's a hurdle. It's a hurdle. But now that I'm working for myself, I can settle down and do some of that stuff. It's kind of like the bridge. I got a lot of comments on the bridge and what people are thinking about what people are trying to help me out with the let's see if I can't use a paper towel here. I got a lot of comments about it, and a lot of people were like, well, for the amount of money that you're going to waste trying to fix it, just build new. Problem with building new is we have a lot of endangered whatever, and DEC, we're not going to really get into it too much. This is a pre-existing structure that they don't have a problem with and or haven't had a problem with yet. So let me just kind of show you guys. Try to do a little bit of arts and crafts here. Stop this frickin' smoking. I don't have any chew on me. Okay, so that's a log. Telephone pole, right? So what I've got from the comments and picking my own brain, what I think I'm going to do we're getting really fancy here, right? So I've got my little lemon saw, my climbing saw, the 2511T. So I think I'm going to bore through it, that telephone pole, right? And where you see the T, I'm going to go down and get some 2x2 square, 1/4 inch steel. And I'm going to take my saw and bore through, make a square, and then take that 10, 15 foot section of tube, go through the telephone pole and bury it. That way it doesn't have any twist. That's what I think I'm at that point now, because nobody around here carries 80-foot long telephone poles. The longest I was able to find is 55 foot, and they were asking $1,300 for it. So I do have two 25 footers in the backyard. But the bridge span is 62 feet, and the pole's overall length is 80 feet. So there's 10 foot on each side that's actually buried in the ground. So I'm pretty sure I could just hoe up the ground around the pole, stick the square tube on each side. That way it doesn't have the ability to twist any. And then I can basically do a platform above the pre-existing platform that's there, because he did a good job. Well, the gentleman that did it years ago used pressure treated 2x8, and on the actual telephone pole itself, he took 2x8 and he went over the top of it, right? That way he had a flat area besides the flat of the round telephone pole. So he had three areas to screw to. So what I'm thinking is basically box. This is basically what it would look like looking down on it. And then, yeah, I'm going to box something like this, and put little 10-inch chunks or whatever the heck it is, just to make the bridge probably about a 2 to 3 foot wide. So I think that's where I'm at with it. Let me see if I can't arts and crafts this up a little bit more here. Hear my birds going rowdy, getting rowdy out there. The joys of painting, right? Is that Bob Ross? So now, no. So you can kind of see you got the pole, you got the squash plate he put on there, and then these little pieces here, the little chunks, will be basically stuff to widen the platform and then screw down. And that's kind of where we're at. Nonetheless. Ground Pounder, you still around, bud? Let me see. No. I wanted to frickin' ask him about birds. Nonetheless, I won't take up any of you guys' time. This is what we're looking at. I think I'm gonna be working on that bridge this week, and then maybe we'll go over and try to look at that that popple at some point. But Sunday live stream, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a little bit of an insider deal. Some people will enjoy it. Some people will think it's a waste of time, which it is, but it's kind of nice to hear feedback from y'all. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. Good to have you, Sky Hunter. God bless y'all, and we will see you next time.